Hey there, I'm back again just to go over just a really quick review of the iPod Touch 5th generation. As you can see here, I got the product red version. Now I do have my light on here just to prevent any shadows, so you might see a little reflection. Anyways, of course, as you know, this is the iPod Touch 5th generation. The white cover I've actually noticed immediately has made me not notice that there's as many fingerprints as there was when I had the black 4th generation. Of course, you can still see them from the light. Yeah, you can still see the fingerprints on there, but regardless, it looks very nice, and it feels so good not to have an aluminum back like I've had with my last two ones, which were the 2nd gen and the 4th gen. So, I guess let's start on the exterior. So far, I am afraid to drop this thing. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this thing is light. I mean, look at this thing. It's insanely thin. Having a new connector on here really does help, and it makes a heck of a difference. So I'm guessing this is what finally got Apple's engineers to make the iPhone and the new iPod Touch is just a little smaller than it used to be. And when the 4th generation came out, you thought, man, they can't make that any more smaller, and it's like, well, think again. Amazing. Now, with that said, I use this loop a lot because I guess even when their engineers thought about this, nope, they thought that it probably wouldn't work so well if somebody was gonna like hold it like this and take pictures and whatnot. Of course, it's supposed to be a replacement for point-and-shoot cameras, which by this time I consider dead anyway. So anyway, with that said, let's go on to the actual iPod itself. Now turning on here, you can obviously notice the new vibrant 4-inch screen, 4-inch Retina display screen. Since I did have the 4th generation, it's definitely a heck of a lot different, and it took me a while to get used to for sure. I have noticed no slowdown with this thing at all. The 4th generation iPod Touch had 256 megabytes of RAM, while this one has 512, so it got doubled. So, as awesome. So now it's about as powerful. So now it is as powerful as the iPhone 4S, since it has the new A5 processor, and also, well, not the new one, but the kind of old one now, and the crap. What is the word I'm thinking of? And the RAM as well. Okay, kind of lost my train of thought. Anyways, let's go and try a few new things that are in iOS. Music. Of course, if you have iOS 6, it's not much of a change. This screen's just a little bigger. Nothing to see here. There's some apps that take advantage of it, but not many. I just bought the new Tetris last night, and you can see they have these little bars now. You wouldn't really call them sidebars, but I guess you can. So, if the game is not made for a 4-inch display, or the app, I guess, you will get these little bars here on the top. I guess if it's the other way, you'll have sidebars as well. So I guess you can call these top bars. I have no idea. So some apps are like that, some aren't. I know I was playing, I haven't got too many games on here, so that's why the apps aren't so organized. But I think I played Jetpack Joyride, and there we go. And it takes a few seconds to load. But with that said, that's one of the games that are actually taking advantage of the full screen. Okay, you get some gameplay. Lucky you. Okay, I don't know. Okay, no, it's slowed down because of Game Center. I hate that. So yeah, this game is as snappy as ever, and I kind of get, since the screen's so big now, I kind of get stuck on one part, and then I'm forgetting, yeah, like now that I'm looking ahead, I'm not playing so well when I'm focusing on the review. Oh, what else? I guess the camera would be the next thing to check out. The camera is a nice change. From what I recall, the 4th generation's camera was only 0.9 megapixels, which could record at at 720p, which is HD, granted, but the cameras were still kind of crap. Front one was 0.5, back one was 0.9. I'm not sure what the front one is this time. I haven't looked up on it. I know I should have, because in the last video I didn't know either. 5.1 I know for sure does have flash, as you can see now. I guess you can look at some pictures here. I mean, I don't have much to look at. I tried the panorama feature, and the lighting's not so great in my room, but you can kind of see my little gaming collection here. And then my computer and my whole setup here, and all of my little nerdy posters and whatnot. But yeah, It Does D is really nice. I used to have a, oh god, I used to have an app called 360 Degrees, I think, and it made panorama pictures like this. And they really didn't turn out too well. They kind of had these edges, but this one, everything's all smooth in one picture. So Apple did a great job on this. I'm sure your room probably has way better lighting than mine does. So, by the way, see what I was saying about this? I need to wear this loop. I just dropped the damn thing. Alright. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to go, even though the loop's not going to help. Alright, little apps like Facebook and stuff like that, they're fit to the full screen. Same with Twitter. There's now Facebook integration into iOS 6, thank God, but that's not too big of an issue. Siri, I guess that's a big thing. Siri, what's the weather today?
It should be nice today. Up to 55 degrees and partly sunny.
Beautiful. Thank you, Siri.
You're most certainly welcome.
Itchy nice. Anyways, Siri only works with Wi-Fi. I spent probably about 15 minutes trying to get it to call me Batman, and then I asked a coworker who has a 4S at work, and he's like, you gotta go into settings and call yourself Batman. So, you know, we're gonna get ourselves to be called Batman. Let's see. Okay, Siri. Siri. Okay, my info. Can I make a new name? Where's my name at? Oh yeah, that's me. So is she gonna call me Christopher? That's my name, by the way. Stalkers. Alright. Hey Siri, what's my name?
You're asking me? Christopher Robinson?
Oh snap! Oh, good thing I didn't show my whole email. Yeah, that's my university email anyway. So yes, that is my name. My identity has been revealed to the public. Oh no. Alright, well, yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, Siri doesn't work at all unless you're on a Wi-Fi connection. So if you're like anywhere and you're just asking some random question like, Siri, what's 2 plus 2? It's just going to tell you to connect to the internet. So that kind of sucks. So there's a lot of places where there's not Wi-Fi connections that people are actually starting to, unfortunately, password your Wi-Fi. So when you get to that situation, you shouldn't rely on Siri too much, and let alone you shouldn't be relying on it anyway when you're on an iPod Touch. Games, most of them, except maybe I think the Joypack, Jetpack Joy Router, the only ones that work with the full screen. There's probably going to be updates sooner or later. So with that said, you're going to have to wait for the app developers to make a 4-inch update for the new screen for the iPhone 5 and iPod Touch 5. Overall, I really have nothing to say about this besides the very thin design and me being afraid of dropping it. I've seen people that have had broken glass on these, and I've never had it happen before, but I certainly did not want this to be the first time. And knowing how long this actually took to get to the market, well, yeah, it's like 2 weeks. It felt like an eternity. So, yeah, I don't want to call Apple and get a new one and wait for the glass to be fixed, because that just sucks. I almost forgot. Now, when you're playing games, I usually hold it like a controller. I mean, being a gamer, my mind is set to hold things with my left hand, with my thumbs pointing at the controller, in this case the screen. Now, in the old 4th generation iPod Touch, I'm almost positive that the speaker was in the back. Now, since this one does have a different back and a build, of course, they have to move the speaker. Now, it is right here. Now, I do remember something like this being on the 4th Gen Touch. If the speaker was actually right here, I apologize, because I'm stupid. But, it's just an honest mistake. So, with that said, I've noticed my hand keeps covering the speaker right here. And no matter, it's not like just turning it around, which Monopoly doesn't do because it sucks. But anyways, I mean, either way, no matter what hand you're holding it with, unless you're holding it and playing it with one hand like this, but I don't know, I always feel better, especially when holding this thing, I want to use 2 hands, that I'm always going to cover up the speaker. So I was playing Jetpack Joy Router earlier, and you know, with that game, you might want to have 2 hands with it. And I had my finger right here, and I was wondering why it's so quiet, and then I had a few coworkers in there while I was just messing with it, and then like my finger goes up, and I was like, oh god. So it's definitely one thing to note, especially if you forget to adjust your volume a lot like I do. So yep, this one minor gripe, but other than that, it's great. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering if I could give it a rating out of a 10-point scale, I would say I would give it, let's see. I'll be nice and give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I can't give it a perfect 10 is because, of course, anything in an iPod can always be better. And it should have had more developer support by now. But I mean, it's only been out a few weeks, but the iPhone 5 has been out since, what was it, mid-September, a little in September? I know I'm being a jerk. but I just don't want to give it a perfect 10, because then next year Apple could have something better. It could be delayed for a year again, and the year after they might have something a little better than that. I just know that a 9 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 for me is very nice. So be grateful. It is a great thing. It's worth your $300. And yes, it does suck. There is no alternative for a 16 gig or 8 gig option yet, and I don't think there's going to be one with all the guts in here and how fancy these backs are now. So I wouldn't expect one any soon unless you want to settle on a 4th generation, which is still great, by the way. So other than that, if you have any questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them. I'll be on my account tonight, and I'll be looking at the comments, especially for the first guy who likes to say first. Alright, and that's it. Thanks for watching.